Sup, gamers. Now, I think everyone knows what happened earlier today. And if you don't, well, Microsoft just dropped a big load of cash. Microsoft just acquired Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. Oh my god. $70 billion for Activision Blizzard. Wow. So, the entire industry is just completely reeling from this. It's unfathomable that Microsoft now owns Activision Blizzard. Microsoft is now Microsoft owns Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch. Now, I've seen a lot of takes today. Obviously, everyone's talking about it. Like, this is probably the biggest gaming news of past. It's got to be the biggest gaming news in years. The fact that Microsoft has just dropped a big $70 billion to acquire one of the biggest publishers in all of gaming. But I've seen a lot of takes, and I guess I just want to give mine. My main take, I guess, would be to examine the pros and the cons of all this, to see the benefits and the cons of Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. Because there are benefits to this. There really are. There are actual good things to come out of Activision being bought out by Microsoft. However, I think there are obvious cons and negatives to this, and I think that these cons could ripple throughout the entire industry. So I kind of just want to examine the benefits and the negatives to Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. The biggest benefit and biggest positive, I guess, would probably be for the company and its employees itself. Because last year was absolutely ugly and brutal for Activision Blizzard. Just scandal after scandal after just bad press for Activision Blizzard. And the company was completely and utterly tainted. Just to the point where it was just its image was completely tattered. So, hopefully, Microsoft is able to do just an absolute cleaning. Now, granted, it won't happen until next year, but maybe after all this is done, Microsoft can just get rid of everybody and maybe give Activision Blizzard a second chance. And also the employees can also be given a second chance too. I see that as probably one of the big benefits, and I've seen that from a lot of people giving their takes on it, that they're seeing that the employees that have had to work at Blizzard maybe have a second chance now. Another one I could see is Game Pass. Game Pass at this point is something that it's just unmatchable. Even if Sony has their own service, it's unmatchable at this point. For $15 a month, or if you're or if you're on PC, it's $10 a month. That's an unbeatable. You got Bethesda, you got Activision, you got Blizzard. It's just an unbeatable deal. So, in terms of that, Game Pass is really good. It's a really good steal for consumers and gamers. And hopefully, maybe it will lead to a better product. It could lead to a better product for Activision Blizzard. That's a big thing. Because Activision Blizzard products have been shit. They've been shit. Kind of just blunt. They've just been shit for the past couple of years. And maybe this will push them in the right direction. And finally, this is kind of a different one, but there's two big publishers they're eating things alive right now, and that's Microsoft and Tencent. And if anybody had to buy Activision Blizzard, I'd rather take Microsoft over Tencent, because Tencent is just I don't think people really realize about how many studios these two companies are actually eating up, but Tencent's a monster, and it's kind of scary because of Tencent's obvious association. But Microsoft, I think, is also just a better company in general than Tencent, but Tencent is still worrying. Now, the cons of all this, probably the biggest one is the obvious monopolization of gaming. And this is the one that stood out to me when I first saw this, is that this could create massive monopolization. With Microsoft's trillions of dollars, them being one of the only $1 trillion companies on this earth, they have just money to blow. They can blow a crap ton of money, and it's kind of obvious now that they can do it. First they got Bethesda, and now they got Activision Blizzard. So if Microsoft wants to, there's a huge chance that they could just, buy up all these big time studios, and it could lead to like a monopolization where there's only like a certain few left. Could we see Ubisoft, EA, Take Two even be bought by Microsoft? I kind of doubt that, but just because they spent so much money on Activision Blizzard. But I mean, what about Sony on the other hand? Could Sony, do some acquisitions as well? Who knows? But like I said earlier, another one I could see is, this could be bad for consumers too, because you could have less options because Microsoft has so much money to blow that they have so much more money to blow than Sony and Nintendo and Valve, and all these other companies. That's just too much. So it could be bad for consumers when you only have one giant company pretty much doing all this. So I could see that being both good and bad. And now another one is probably what happens to Sony, Nintendo, and all these other ones. Like, because Microsoft's just spending money like crazy, and Sony and Nintendo can't really match that. Like, Sony and Nintendo can't buy Activision Blizzard. Like, they don't have the money to buy that. So how are Sony and Nintendo going to be able to compete against Microsoft when they're doing this? It feels like that Microsoft is just like, well, we can't beat them in exclusive, so we're just going to buy them. Can't beat them, buy them. That's kind of the feeling. And this could be a big part of their strategy, is just buy everything and then put it on Game Pass, and that's it. But probably the long-term damage, I guess, would probably be how this is going to probably radically change the industry and could lead to more studios being bought up. Like Sony could buy Square Enix, or Capcom or Konami, something like that. We could see, but not Bethesda. Like Microsoft could buy somebody else. Who knows? But we could start seeing the consolidation of like all these big publishers into like different companies. So we could seriously start seeing like really only like a couple of companies in the game industry. Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Amazon, Google, maybe. Google, I don't know about Google. I think like Stadia is like a dead platform, but who knows? But we could start seeing a consolidation like in 5 to 10 years. It could be really, there's only going to be like 5 companies in the gaming sphere. And Microsoft will be like on top with Game Pass. But who knows, right? So what does this all mean? In my opinion, not really much for this year. I don't think really anything's going to really change that much, at least for this current year, 2022. However, 2023 is when, the deal's going to go through, and I think that's when everything's going to get really crazy. I think that's when shit's going to get wild. Now, of course, this has to go through regulation, like everything does with these massive deals. Do I think it's going to really change anything? No. I don't think it's going to really change much because the FTC, they let Disney and Fox go through, so it's like, you really think they're going to do anything? No. They're not going to do anything, so I don't have faith in them really accomplishing anything like that. So the deal will probably go through, despite gamers being, wary. That's just kind of the reality. Like, well, now Microsoft is going to be like a fucking giant. Like, they're going to be huge. And it's just going to be, Microsoft's going to be huge, and Game Pass is going to be something that I think is going to be something that people are going to pick up. It's literally going to be the Netflix of gaming. Like, it's going to be the one service that everyone's going to want. It's going to be the Netflix of gaming. I don't see... Sony is going to be releasing their service soon, which is going to be interesting as well. I don't know what they're going to do. I know that Crunchyroll and Funimation were just not bought out, but Sony wants to merge Crunchyroll and Funimation, which is their anime streaming service. They might actually implement something into that. Like, because Sony isn't just a gaming company. They're also like they have Funimation, and they also have some other like media or something. So they could theoretically put their other departments into their service to compete against Microsoft. That could happen. So that would make them different from Game Pass. Now, I also think there's going to be a spring cleaning once this deal goes through. And what I mean is that like guys like Bobby Kotick are going to be gone. Granted, he's going to get like a nice payout once he leaves, but he's going to be gone. I think also the employees will probably do better as well. The company will probably do better both in the public and also for the employee, for like morale and stuff as well. So that'll probably be one of the main positives. Hopefully, that will be one of the main positives. This is going to have a ripple effect though in the long term. I think for the short term, it's going to be something people are going to talk about. But in terms of the long term, this is probably going to be something that people are going to be talking about for a while, and it's probably going to be something that's going to start a ripple effect of like consolidation, of companies just coming together. We might see like Square Enix or Capcom or Konami get bought out by Sony. We might see EA or Ubisoft, God forbid, get bought out by Microsoft. Amazon might buy one of these companies. Who knows? And also the main one that people are talking about is what's going to be exclusive. Is Call of Duty going to be exclusive? World of Warcraft, Diablo? Now, I don't know. I don't think Warzone's going to be exclusive. I really don't. But and I don't even think the new Call of Duty games are going to be exclusive. I think the new CODs and Overwatch 2, I think there's a very likely shot that they won't be exclusive, but Diablo, I think it's going to be an exclusive. Diablo 4, I think, is going to be exclusive. The only games that I can see not being exclusives are Overwatch 2 and the yearly CODs. That's it. Everything else, I can see being exclusive. I also think that in terms of Sony and Nintendo, it's really going to tell them that... I don't know about Nintendo. Nintendo does their own thing. Nintendo is always going to probably exist, but this is probably going to get Sony to step up their game, and they'll probably try to retaliate against Microsoft by buying someone out. Not an equal value, but, just like to really get people going. So, but I think for the good, this is good in like the short term and for like the casual gamer. For like the casual gamer that just wants to boot up like Call of Duty or something, this is good for them. But I think in the long term and for like hardcore gamers, I think this might be a bad thing. Or for gamers that only have one console, if you only have the PlayStation 5 or something, then you're probably going to be, shit out of luck. I don't know. But I do think that Microsoft's end goal is to get Game Pass onto every device. That's their end goal. So it's not like you'll be excluded, but I think what's going to happen is that Microsoft will have too much power and they'll be able to do a lot. They'll be like the Netflix of gaming. But they might not have much competition, so that could lead down a path. But in terms of for casual gamers that just want to boot up Call of Duty or something every now and then, it's probably good for them. And I think in the short term at least, it's going to be good for gamers. This isn't this isn't terrible news. This is actually not this is actually good news for probably both Activision, Blizzard, and gamers. But it also can be bad news. And I think that's the part I want to take away. This can be a bad thing, but right now I think it's a good thing. And I think that's pretty much it, because I know everybody else is talked about this, from big creators to small creators, but I kind of just want to get my 2 cents on it. So I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.